Hello and welcome to the 2023 auction special here on Cricbuzz. It is a very special day. The reason being that this is where Cricbuzz live video streaming actually started with the auction, which was way back in 2018. So yeah, it was five or 6 years ago, I think, is when we started. So it's a very special day. I'm Gaurav Kapur. I have a habit of making everything about myself, as I have done just now. We, of course, have my co-conspirators from that day back in the boondocks of Mumbai in some dodgy studio where it was very dark. And Ajit had not got the car out at that time. Mr. Harsha Bhogle and Mr. Joy Bhattacharya.
It was very dark.
It was very dark.
I remember that way. Yeah. Anyway, I have a confession to make right at the start.
Yes.
Which is that I don't know which team you're going to be focusing on.
Yeah.
But there are going to be 2 KKRs today.
Okay.
Because, of course, Joy Bhattacharya is in the studio.
Yeah.
But he has very graciously lent me his Bundy jacket.
That's
because
right.
Mine was the color of the sofa.
Correct.
So now I have to assume the form of the person who owns the jacket.
Absolutely.
I just want to say, by the way, the color of the sofa, I didn't think there was any more cloth that was possibly available in this color. But what do you know? Apparently that mistake was made in yards and yards. First up, we want to apologize to you. There's only 3 of us. So, hum teen. 30 ke barabar.
I saw a post that said that I don't know how much they're paying you because you break the bank, but
It's true.
but that the cost of the 3 of us is still less than the money that franchises have to spend.
It's not true because there's 200 crores that teams have to spend today. And that is just a shade under Mr. Harsha Bhogle's net worth. So, if we throw him into the mix, then it's possibly more. But there you go. There are some very familiar faces. Punjab, who always comes with the mood to shop, and they shop, and then they discard. They do, they are the people who do the returns. It's like people who shop online, and they shop 10 things, and then they return 9. Punjab does that all the time.
No, they're cash on delivery, no?
No, but there's also one other point. One important point about Punjab is, how do you get yourself seen? During a game, it's mostly on the players. The auction is the only place where the owners get seen.
Oh, that's true, actually.
So the more auctions you go for, the more players you use, and it's use and throw now.
This
is coming on the front foot already. Joy, I thought people mark out their run-ups early.
But the thing is that it's a person who's been on the table, so he knows. Were you on the table the first year?
No.
You weren't with Mumbai, right?
But I was just making the phone calls to get people in.
Oh, nice. The puppeteer. The puppeteer behind the scenes. But Joy, you've been on the table how many years?
6 years.
6 years you were on the table. There are many tips and tricks that we will be sharing with you today, by the way. So there's, of course, 10 teams. We'll show you that list again. Unlikely shoppers at the top has been Hyderabad. Hyderabad did the whole... Sir, your city did the whole पूरे घर के बदल डालूंगा.
Oh, देखो क्या करे उनला. पहले इतने ज़्यादा पैसे दिए. फिर देखे अरे इतने पैसे दिए कोई रना नहीं आ रहे बोल के सबको निकाल दिए फिर.
Yeah, exactly.
तो केन चाचा, केन मामा, केन अन्ना सब निकल गए.
Yeah.
वो पूरण मियाँ निकल गए.
Yeah.
वो एक रोमारियो भाई थे. रोमारियो भाई आके 7.5 करोड़ लेके गए, खेले नहीं कुछ नहीं.
Correct.
तो उनला बोले सबको निकाल लेके जो है थोड़ी मिर्ची भजी खाएंगे, थोड़ा चाय चांद बिस्कुट खाएंगे. बचे हुए पैसे.
Sir, अभी तो 11 नहीं बन रहे इनके. They don't have a full 11 at the moment.
No, absolutely. And the other thing they've done is they've completely revamped a lot of their coaching staff as well.
Correct.
So you see that Tom Moody.
Yeah.
Then with Tom Moody, they elevated him to director of cricket, brought in Trevor Bayliss. Yeah. Then Bayliss went, Moody's gone. Now Brian Lara is there. So it's a whole new look. Whatever it is, I'm sure Lakshman is a well-wisher, but Lakshman is technically now with the NCA.
He's NCA now, so he's gone. Let's just start with Hyderabad, actually.
Yeah.
We've started. So, baat jab saaz chhed hi diya hai, to gana bhi gaa hi lete hain. So there you go. Of course, they don't have a captain. So they are one of the teams that there's a couple of teams that don't have a captain. They've let their captain go, Kane Williamson. It was their #1 retention. So that's freed up a big part of the purse. And yes, sir.
So all I'm saying is that Hyderabad has one important issue, which basically was that unless somebody at the top, they scored disproportionate runs. In their most successful times, it should be Shikhar Dhawan and David Warner.
Yeah.
Kane Williamson did it for 1 year.
Yeah. So Johnny Bairstow
did it for a while. So that's the point. They need runs up front. And Abhishek Sharma, they need one other rock star guy along with him.
Yeah.
And because of this way their side is composed, they probably need an Indian.
Yeah.
So I would say, given the amount of money they have, they'd have to look at somebody like a Mayank Agarwal very seriously, because if you look at that auction list, I mean, there may be a lot of good uncapped players out there, and there are some very interesting ones we'll talk about. But in terms of capped players, guys who've done it, guys we know, okay, this is what they're capable of doing, I think Mayank Agarwal is the best player sitting in there in the auction.
Yeah, there you go. He's the other captain who's been let go, which is why both these teams are at the top of the money that they have available, because, you know, their number one retentions, their captains are gone. So Mayank Agarwal is available. Do you think they'll go for him? Do you think they'll... Okay, here's my first question. Do you think they'll put a bid in for Kane when he comes up?
Which is exactly the point I was going to come to. Are they going to go after Kane Williamson at a lower price point? Now, they have two very, very solid middle-order players in Aidan Markram and Glenn Phillips.
Yeah.
Glenn Phillips was the big revelation for New Zealand. He's been for a while. They got Aidan Markram. They have two solid players at 4 and 5. Abhishek Sharma's had a good season. Rahul Tripathi most times does. So, do they want to go for Kane Williamson? Because if they do go for Kane Williamson, he's got to be captain.
Yep.
Then if he is captain, which of those two, you can't have one, the top 5 featuring 3 overseas batsmen.
Yeah, true.
I mean, they have a lot of Indian bowling. They don't have much spin bowling, but they have a lot of Indian bowling.
Yeah.
I think, which brings me back, I don't think they will go with Kane Williamson. I think Mayank Agarwal makes a lot more sense for them.
Yeah.
Because if you look down that lineup again, I think the top 6 can actually become a very, very good top 6 if they stay with it.
Yep.
Abhishek Sharma has had a really good season at Punjab, and following the tradition of making the youngest the captain, they've also made him the captain. There's something in the north.
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant became captain. Now Yash Dhul is captain of Delhi.
Correct.
So, I mean, if I was 14, I had a damn good chance. Abhishek Sharma. Now put Mayank Agarwal in there.
Yeah.
Rahul Tripathi, Aidan Markram, Glenn Phillips. Even if you don't want to play Abdul Samad, because by then you don't have much bowling, because Abhishek isn't bowling much. Even if you say Washington Sundar at 6, we were in New Zealand, we saw Washington Sundar batting fabulously there.
He was good.
Washington Sundar at 6, it allows you to play 5 bowlers. They then need an all-rounder at 5, at 7.
Yeah, but here's the other thing there also. In that 11 is actually just 3 overseas players. So you do have an option of
Fazal
having...
Haq Farooqi. Bade bhai, Fazal Haq Farooqi khilana hi padta. Kahi ki bolta Farooqi kala dant manjan Hyderabad ka hi che. Farooqi ka kala dant manjan Hyderabad mein banate the. तो फजला को खेलना ही पड़ता.
But Fazal has had a bit of trouble in the Big Bash right now.
Yeah.
Just very recently had a bit of a disciplinary issue. I hope he's put it past him, and I hope they don't look at that. But he is a really talented young man. But exactly that if you look at it, for a team that is sitting on 40 odd crores,
Yeah.
they really have 2 real slots to fill. I mean, that opening by a second slot and maybe an upgrade of Abdul Samad, maybe an all-rounder.
They need a spinner.
They need a wicket keeper. They need a first-choice wicket-keeper because right now they have Glenn Phillips.
Yes.
But Glenn Phillips is a gun field. I mean, Glenn Phillips can do everything, including
they need
flying
a
the
keeper.
team plane.
Yeah,
But
they need a keeper to bat either at 3 or at 7. So that 7 all-rounder that I talked about would probably have to be a keeper. Then unless they can tell Glenn Phillips, dude, we'll put on an add-on thing. We'll get your family over. We'll give you an additional license. You can do whatever. Just keep wickets again. Because Glenn Phillips started life as a keeper, kept for New
Yeah,
Zealand.
he's good enough to
I think
keep.
he'll be good enough to do that.
Except that he runs 100 meters in 10.2 seconds or something.
Which is why you want him in the outfield.
Yeah,
You want him in the outfield, and he now fancies an over or 2 of off-break bowling.
Yeah.
So if they can find a keeper to bat at 3 or at 7,
Yeah.
depending on how good the keeper is, then Washington can bat at 6. And then if they can get Aidan Markram to bowl a little bit, they've got 6 bowlers.
Also, this team has scary upside.
Yeah.
Because somebody like a Marco Jansen is just bubbling under.
Correct.
Okay, Aidan Markram, Marco Jansen, Tripathi is good. Anyone, if Mayank Agarwal comes in, he has what we call PTP, point to proof.
Yeah.
He's going to have a good season.
Yep.
And then immediately this team looks like a really, really solid
PTP
team.
is the new word for this year, is it?
PTP. No, we've done PTP.
We've done PTP.
Last couple of seasons, yeah. We've done the PTP 11.
Then the
point
T
of
went
proof.
away and PP came and sat here for a long time.
Yeah, that's right.
come
Then
inside,
I've come straight from the airport. Just cancel that joke.
He was sitting and drinking tea over here. Quick question before we round up Hyderabad. If they do get Mayank Agarwal, is he your captain then?
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe why not go to Bhuvi? He's been around for such a long time. He's decent.
He's a sure starter for all your games.
The good thing for them is, look at the bowling they've got. I don't know if the latest fitness of Natarajan is. I saw him play a few games. He was seeming to go for runs every time, which gives you the impression he's not fit. But Bhuvi, Umran, Natarajan, Farooqi, Jansen, Tyagi, they don't need another fast bowler.
No.
So really they can go and get some a very good all-rounder.
Quality spinner as well.
They need spinners as well. They only have Washington Sundar here.
They only have Washington Sundar.
And
but
Abhishek Sharma, if you count him.
So if you say, okay, I've got enough Indian fast bowlers, I don't need to play Fasalak Bhai or Marco Bhai. Then I can maybe pick an Adil Rashid or an Adam Zampa.
Yeah.
And then get a Risti from there.
I have a feeling Zampa is going to be a big one again. And if they have the kind of money to go for players like Zampa and all,
Yeah.
the other thing they could do is go for the upgrade in the middle order and say, I have the money, I'll pick those two guys. I'll pick a Mayank Agarwal, I'll pick a Ben Stokes or a Sam Curran. So that then immediately makes it even stronger. If that Samad goes up,
They can do a lot of bidding.
They've said that all England players, and that's a big deal, by the way, all England players are available for the entire season.
Yep.
Now, 1st June, I think, is the test match against Ireland. Producer? 1st June is the
I mean,
test
the
match.
one that they're looking at is 3 weeks from the end of which is the Ashes test at Lord's, against Australia. So that's 3 weeks after it finishes. So, I mean, in all
maybe
fairness,
they'll
with
just
no
tell the
disrespect, but that's the one they're looking at.
the Irish,
Maybe they'll tell the Irish we'll do some,
I mean,
we'll do some new treaty.
But here's the way England is playing
we
test
won't conquer you for a while.
yeah, if the way England is playing test cricket right now, I think even if
3 days in.
3 or 4, 5, 6 players are here from their test team, which I doubt, I think they've got enough backup there.
Because Anderson and Broad will be there anyway, no?
Yeah, Anderson, Broad will be there. And Ben Stokes won't captain, but they'll find somebody else to captain. Joe Root can captain if he doesn't.
But he's in the
actually,
auction.
Joe Root is in the
He's in the
auction.
auction.
Here's the thing about Joe Root. Joe Root has actually not been around the IPL for a long time. He's not played a T20I in I think 3.5 years.
He's just signed up for the Capitals team in the ILT20.
So there you go. I feel like Joe Root has got a call. I feel like he's got a call to put his name in the auction. And that happens, doesn't it? There's a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That happens if there's a player not in the auction. Joy, a phone call can go and you can say, just put your name in. We're considering you.
Absolutely. Not only that, the other thing is that if you see this list of 87 players they're saying, that means each of these 87, one team or the other has expressed interest that this player we're interested in.
Fair enough.
Which is why you.
But that is to the BCCI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of names not there. Therefore, Angelo Matthews is not there. That means no franchise has said we're interested in looking at these guys at this point in time.
Yeah, Martin Guptill is not there. Angelo Matthews is not there.
they're not
There's a few players are not. Colin de Grandhomme is not
But definitely, they definitely would make a call saying that make sure your name's in the auction. It may go to him. It may go to the manager. The big problem with England players is that the amount of money they have to pay their county and the amount of money they pay in taxes, very often it's not worth their while.
Yeah.
So what happens is they get picked at base price, they don't want to come.
Yeah.
Jason Roy has done that way too many times for his own good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's also not scored runs.
Yeah, he's not scored runs and he's also then not got picked when he's come out here.
Yeah.
The point then is that if they back out, and that's why England players have a bit of a reputation issue in that if they're picked at base price, they don't want to come here because they're losing money.
भाई देखो सिंपल सी बात है अगर 42% टैक्स देना हो तो इससे अच्छा तो घर ही बैठ जाओ यार छोड़ो ना क्या करो
Chalo, he has just announced to the world that he's an ultra HNI.
No, I'm just telling people कि ऐसा भी होता है
You know what happens? You know, some
कहाँ पे
people
हो रहा
carry
है?
their riches very lightly and some people just have to just sort of announce it all the time.
200 crore रुपए. All right, let's move on to the next team. Let's just tell you that 86 players actually will be auctioned today, and after that it will go into the fast track process. Fast
Can I,
track.
one last thing about
Accelerate.
Hyderabad, sorry sir.
Yes, please. Sir.
I think they've got very good options at the top of the order because what if Markram stops scoring runs? They'll need a gun overseas player.
Yeah.
If I was sitting on that auction table, I'd look at Harry Brook
Yeah.
or Riley Russo.
These are two names that will get a lot of bids today.
I'd look at one of those two.
Yeah. So there's.
Kya hua? I was like the student who's made notes and wo.
I know, it's like ये miss हो
I
गया.
hadn't said it, so I said, please, can I?
Like ये miss हो गया. चलो भाई आप
2 और extra extension sheets.
आपके नोट्स के हिसाब से अगली टीम कौन सी आ रही है?
आप जो बोलो वो.
चलो सब तैयार है. लाओ किसको ला रहे हो? किसको लाओगे? मुंबई को ले आते हैं. मुंबई में बैठे हैं तो मुंबई को ले आते हैं because
कितना टाइम है आपके पास?
Last year number 10. नहीं सर एक्चुअली इससे ना ज्यादा in 10 minutes. 10 because they number 10 last year. So keep it for 10 minutes. But here's what they have. They have 20.5 crores available. I don't think anybody's ever said that before. 20.5. They have 16 players. They have 5 overseas. So their available slots are quite a few. 9 in total and 3 overseas players. But they have, they really have an uphill task, Joy.
Yeah. So there's good news. Good news is just 2 words, Jofra Archer.
Yeah, he's
That's
been
good
picked.
news.
Yeah.
And then there's only bad news. There's no spinners. There's a whole lot of other things
I
to do.
think they have to follow their retail policy and just take everybody. Everybody on board.
Yeah.
Because they need bowling. They need a lot of bowling.
Yeah.
one way of looking at it is they like Trent Bolt very much because he used to bowl 3 at the top, take wickets. So they've looked at the closest option available, safe option. They've put Jason Behrendorff in there, saying he'll bowl. But if I was them, I'd also look at someone like a Reece Topley, who can bowl anywhere up front. Other than that, they've got one spin bowler up that list in Kumar Karthikeya. And he's had a good season. He bowls this as well as this. So he can be the wristy that you want if required. And he's had a good season, good domestic season. But that is where their spin bowling ends. All their other spinners are part-time. So if you look down that list again, I think there's Hrithik Shokeen. There's Hrithik Shokeen. There's Tilak Varma. And there is Tim David. 3 part-time off-spinners. You can't go into a campaign starting with part-time off-spinners. Last year around this time, we had talked up Mohammad Arshad Khan. Big deal. But we talked and we didn't see him.
Correct.
So I don't know how good he still is. So that is the other option. But they really need, as Josh said, they need to buy a lot of people with the money that they have.
No, the other thing is that they're in a situation where, if you're looking at, this may be the first IPL after a long time that teams are going to play on home ground, hopefully. And therefore, if you're going to go to Chennai, they don't have the kind of spinners to go and play in other tracks that they have. Maybe in Mumbai, you can get away with one decent spinner and a lot of fast bowlers, part-timers. So here, if you are going to have a full-fledged IPL where every team is going to play on its home ground, this is not a complete team by any means. It's missing spinning options. It's got a lot of powerful components, but a lot of gaps as well. And I think we'll just need to look at the gaps. See, their basic ambition is to have as good a team as their coaching staff is. The size of team and size of coaching staff is always the same.
No, but coaching staff now, Zach and Mahila have gone up. They are now overall.
But they're still there.
But look at the players they have released. That tells you a story. They were not happy with their bowling at all. The one name I'm a little surprised that they've released, because that's the kind of player they're looking for, is that Daniel Sams. But look at that. Basil Thampi, Daniel Sams, Fabian Allen, Jaydev Unadkat, Mayank Markande, Murugan Ashwin, Riley Meredith, Timal Mills. It's like they've said, Sare badal dalunga, as you said a little while ago. And so now they need to look for a lot of bowling. The good thing is they've got those 3 quicks in Bumrah, Archer and Behrendorff. But they need more spin. The good thing though, the other good thing is they don't have to worry too much about the top 6. The batting is looking very, very good.
That's true. The South African youngsters, there's Tim David. Then
you just look at that. If Rohit's going to have a good season sometime, I know we say that most years, but Rohit's going to have a good season some point
or the other.
So if you look at that batting, there's Rohit, there's Ishan, there's Tilak Varma, there's Sky, there's Tim David, and there's either Brevis or Stubbs. And if
it's looking very good.
If they can get a good top order Indian batter, then that gives them a little more flexibility to maybe look for an overseas fast bowler. But these top order Indian batters sounds good. If they were that good, they would have been in the auction last year and would have been retained.
Yeah, correct. There's very few. See, that's the thing. There's very few Indian marquee players that are available because they're all with teams, and obviously teams would not release them. Remember, this is a mini auction. So there's a lot of players that have come into the mix again. For example, Sam Curran. Now, Sam Curran was let go by Chennai, and you think, why did they let him go? Well, they let him go in the big auction where you had to pretty much let everybody go. You could only retain, 4 players. So then Sam Curran didn't play. He was not registered for last year's auction. So now he's come in on the back of this World Cup, and what I call #Mahol ban gaya ek Sam Curran ke bare mein.
See, I'll tell you, there are 2 things. One is that everyone who comes into an auction in odd year, in a mini auction year, and is a good player, will be paid ridiculous money. So that trend started 2010. You have the situation where, okay, let's not talk about 2009 and Mashrafe-Murtaza, or the fact that, $625,000.
My KKR just pinched a little.
Not to mention the amount of money played for Freddie Flintoff that year as well.
That's
if
true.
you remember, 1.95.
Wow.
Again, 2011 was a big auction. 2012, what happens? Ravindra Jadeja is banned for a year. He comes back in 2012, immediately goes for max price. Because there's nobody else available. What happens in a year after a major auction? Some teams will have come 8th, 9th and 10th, or 6th, 7th and 8th, whatever the case is. Therefore, somebody is sitting wanting to pay big money to pick a player. And therefore, you will always benefit more. The amount of ridiculousness that can happen is less when you have to buy 15 players as opposed to when you might have to buy just 5 players.
But he talked about the Mahal. I've heard 3 names around the Mahal theme.
Let's guess quickly, 1 second. Sam Curran, Ben Stokes, Cameron Green.
I don't understand the Mahal around 2 out of those 3.
Oh.
See, Ben Stokes had a very good year at Rising Pune.
Yeah.
Thereafter, Ben Stokes played 3 seasons for Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah.
He had 3 ordinary seasons at Rajasthan Royals.
Correct.
He had the odd good performance, but you're talking Ben Stokes, the greatest all-rounder of our times. He cannot have the odd good season. How much is Ben Stokes going to give you in this? So I can understand this amount of money with Ben Stokes. Cam Green came to India, played 3 good innings.
Yeah.
After that, he's done nothing with bat and he doesn't bowl.
Correct.
So why would you go for Cam Green at 2 crores when you can get David Villa for less?
Yeah.
And Villa will give you 2-3 overs every single game, some days 4. And you must see him batting at
he's
6-7.
a
I mean,
superb
just
player.
because he
Superb
plays
player.
for Namibia.
Yeah.
So I actually think there's a lot of very good buys available there. And even for someone like a Mumbai Indians, that number 7 player that they need, which at the moment is either Ramandeep Singh or Arjun Tendulkar.
Yeah.
Because he's now becoming more and more of a proper batter.
Correct.
That number 7 could be David Villa.
Yeah. Wow. That could happen.
Sikandar
for Mumbai.
Raza.
Or Sikandar Raza or David Villa. That kind of player who's not under pressure, batting at 7, go and bat 10-12 balls, which is what they do, they're very good at, and bowl 3 overs every game.
Jason Holder, I mean, see, they probably don't need that much death bowling if Bumrah is available, then that takes care of it. But Jason Holder, good at the death as well. Guy who's calm. They like that kind of non-confrontational,
I feel if they
non-controversial
had a
player.
chance to get Adam Zampa, I feel they'd go after Adam Zampa. Because they really... See, if you're going to play spinners also at Wankhede, they prefer leggies. They just have a better chance of not being smashed all over the place.
Yeah.
So
Adil Rashid, I like Adil Rashid, and he's done consistently well for England in
Mumbai has
T20.
never picked an overseas spin bowler.
True.
Never.
True.
Can't remember. Mumbai never picked an overseas spin bowler. Because otherwise, the other excellent tactical pick for them, except that their team is not being allowed to play too much of the IPL, was Shakib Al Hasan.
Yeah.
Who also has never been the player in the IPL that he's been for Bangladesh.
He's only available for 1 month, for April.
Correct.
Then they have to go off early May.
He comes into the top 6 and you have the second spin bowling option there. Most days bowls 4 overs.
Yeah.
So he would have been that perfect tactical fit, except that Bangladesh has now announced that you're only available for that much time.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Liton Das, every single franchise that needs a top order player should be looking at Liton Das.
Yeah. Is it because of the way the test series has gone for them that they've said that no, we will only give our players for 1 month?
How Bangladesh cricket is
Naughty.
like predicting Bangladesh cricket is like predicting the Kardashians, Who'll have a sex change tomorrow, who knows? well, that's what the Kardashians did. I'm not saying anything else.
Joy,
That's the truth.
Joy, that run-up that you marked, are you sure that was yours? And you're not Michael Holdings pushing back the side screen?
The last time that the words Kardashians and cricket were mentioned in the same sentence was never. This never happened before. But hey, that's what happens here in Cricbuzz. इसलिए तो मैं कहता हूँ, हम 30 के बराबर हैं.
we must replay that line. Yeah.
He'll just say it again.
It's
I hope your phone's on silent because I feel like after that comment, your phone's going to start ringing. Off the hook.
It was ringing 10 seconds before we went on air, by the way.
No, I was checking whether it ring. I still haven't managed to put it on silent. I don't understand it.
Let me
So
try and call you.
No, I put it in airplane mode. So
I'm trying to call you. Are you sure?
Yeah,
This is a historic moment here right now on Cricbuzz because I'm trying to call Joy and see if his phone is on because the number of times it has rung here is the number of times that Punjab has changed their captain. What?
Oh, well played.
Hang on. No, it's not ringing.
Please try later.
Oh, please try later. It is off. Well done. I will try later. You know that. I'm going to keep trying till I succeed. Much like a lot of teams will be doing at the auction today.
Joy made a valid point about home and away this year, though.
Yeah, and
There's
I
a lot
think
of
that's
home and
very
away
valid for Chennai, the next team we want to
Yeah,
talk about.
but Mumbai also, when they were at their peak and they were playing really well, used to win a lot of matches in Mumbai.
Yeah.
And if they can have a seam-heavy attack, and they should target winning 6 out of 7 at home with the kind of batting that they have and the fast bowling that they have.
Yeah.
They should target winning 6 or 7 at home. If you do that, then you've almost qualified.
Yeah, I mean,
You
of
can't
course,
assume that you will,
Yeah.
but if they can build a seam-heavy attack and play the one spinner,
odds are definitely loaded in your favor then. But that's, of course, if you play home games. It depends on China. Let's not talk about China. Let's talk about Chennai.
7 or something.
Chennai. Sorry?
B7 or something, this new variant?
I don't know. I've lost count again. Much like Punjab's captains, I have lost count of the number of variants. Okay, for Chennai, finished number 9 last season. Mumbai finished 10, Chennai finished number 9, which is why this time they are going into an auction. Remember, these are two teams that used to go into the auction sleeping. They used to go in sleeping. They're like, well, we're just going to go to this mini auction. We're going to be asleep because we possibly need to buy 1, 2 players. Doesn't matter because we're such a settled team. This is the first time these two teams are going in and they'll be active.
Absolutely. And before this, what used to happen was Dhoni would write 3 names, give it to senior member of the Chennai management.
Yeah,
go
Kashi
there,
sir.
patiently wait for those names to come up, bid on them, forget about the rest. Nothing else has to be done.
Yeah.
It's all been taken care of. Don't worry. Just tick these names off. Okay, these 3 done. Go home.
Yeah.
So that's it. And that's part of their success as well because they had so little dissension. I mean, it was clearly a Dhoni-driven team. It's still clearly a Dhoni-driven team.
Yeah.
Just that they haven't had the success they're used to having for such a long, long time.
Yeah.
They were being driven by Dhoni last year also, except that you're sitting at the back.
Yeah, he's not used to.
That's true. Some backseat driving for half the season. Just half the season.
Yes.
The rest then he took
And then all the Instagram stories around Jadeja, but he's back. Is he following CSK? I don't know, but he's back.
Look at us. Yeah. Look at us discussing social media. Mr. Bhogle, your children will be
Instagram.
proud.
I'm
Children will be very proud of that.
I made notes there. Talk about social media to enhance relevance.
Talk about IG. Very nice. But there you go. There's their team. There is the certain... वो जो सुर और साज जो टीम का होता है, वो तो अभी भी उधर ही है. But out of the players that they need, where do you feel like... Because remember the one thing, there's a few players who are there who have been sure starters, who are closer to the end of their career than even perhaps the middle.
Wow, you've been ridiculously polite.
I know.
I mean, some golden oldies. But I can't say, na, because...
OGs. Call them OG.
Thank you.
OGs. It's
Thank
OGs.
you, Gaurav.
Sorry, OGs.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Say OGs. There's some OGs over there. And some of finer vintage. They have some younger players there as well. But who do they need? Where are the gaping holes?
I think they need a strong Indian middle order player.
Yeah.
Because they've got Ambati Rayudu there. We don't know. Ambati Rayudu, every time you think, we don't know how much he comes and has a flyer. But they could well look at someone like a Joe Root in there. I'm just looking at what their likely team could be. I've got Conway, Moin, Tikshana.
Yeah, we've got that as well.
As my 3 starters. Yeah. So I think there is room for one more because they've got so many all-rounders. It's a typical Dhoni. It's still a Dhoni side.
Options galore.
Saying, I will take 6-7 bowlers in. You look at all the options he's got. Moin will bowl. Jadeja will bowl. Dubey, Chahar, Tikshana, Mukesh Chowdhury. If you want to play Pretorius, then you've got that 4th overseas player who would play the Bravo kind of role. So Pretorius, that already gives you 7 bowlers.
Yeah.
So now you play a Joe Root, who under Ben Stokes is now the leading off spinner in the world.
Yeah, correct. Yes. I just want to 1 second before our phones ring off the hook and before you hashtag and at us. MS Dhoni's name, that's not the batting order. We've just written like 8 players. So before you start thinking we've put Dhoni at 8, everybody put your phones down. Put back away from your Twitter. Yes. It's just the 11 that we've written. And in that you're saying they could possibly do with a little more boostering in the middle order.
Because I'm looking at this lineup. Gaikwad, Ruturaj, excellent. Devon Conway, excellent. Moin at 3, maybe. Rayudu, Jadeja, Dhoni, Shivam, Dubey. You want that one dominant middle order player still there.
Yeah.
And because they've got Deepak Chahar back, last year Simarjeet bowled very well, Mukesh Chowdhury bowled very well.
Yeah.
They can play only one overseas spinner in Tikshana and maybe add a top order overseas batter in that list. And they can still form a side. Otherwise, they can go with Pretorius, who's a great finisher. And he can tonk the ball at the end.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot of other Indian talent as well. I thought Simarjeet, as I said, was very good last year. They've got Tushar Deshpande. They can throw Hangargekar in. Maharashtra have played a lot of Hangargekar this year in domestic cricket. So they could well go in for one top order.
Deshpande had a good Mushtaq Ali as well.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, this team did come number 9. That 11 doesn't look like it has a gaping hole.
No, but remember,
Does
Deepak
it?
Chair didn't play a lot of it.
Sorry?
Deepak Chair didn't play a lot of it.
Didn't play at all, I think.
Yeah.
Deepak Chair didn't play.
Correct.
Okay.
So now that he's back, I'm saying.
Correct. And they were not playing in Chennai.
Yeah, Bravo's
So
retired, so Bravo's not
and that
there.
Ravindra Jadeja fiasco, whatever happened, or whatever it was. So those were the 3 things that derailed them. Bravo was, at a particular stage, not really there. And, he's had a long innings. He's done so much for them. But what I'm saying is also, one thing is that Kane Williamson is actually in a very interesting fit for this team.
Yeah.
A lot of Kiwis.
Yeah.
Okay. Fleming, Dhoni, they like a Kane Williamson kind of player.
Exactly the same temperament. We spoke about this last
year, yes,
during the big option. I was very bullish actually. I really thought that they would go after Kane Williamson. It's only because
Sunrise retained him, yeah.
Yeah, but it just seems like, at that time, but now he's gone. So
also remember, I think the way Dhoni looks at it, and they are very calm about succession planning.
Yeah.
So Dhoni would say that, okay, maybe I have a year, maybe 2 years, who knows? Let's leave that.
Maybe 12?
Yeah.
But if he has 2 years, this guy is an ideal transition for the Rituraj era or the Deepak Chahar era, whatever that next era of CSK is. Yeah. So they think of all that.
One of the problems with New Zealand is Conway and Williamson at the top.
Yeah.
For New Zealand, you don't want to import. You don't want to import that problem for them.
I don't think they'll go for it.
From them.
Not this year. I don't think. You're absolutely right.
See, but then if
that was a
looking at
big
it, Joe
talking
Root
point, and that's why they threw Finn Allen up there. New Zealand did. So.
But then Joe Root will give you the same problem.
Yeah.
So then, if you're looking at a top order batter, what about Manish Pandey? Intriguing fit. Look, if anyone can sort and get Manish Pandey to perform, it's somebody like an MS Dhoni. Pandey needs that kind of captain.
Career strike at 120 though. He'll have to do something. This year he's batted 5 at Karnataka.
Yeah. But again, MS also, you're right, MS does do that. But MS at some point is going to say, listen, I don't want any more projects now. Right? Because you have stuff available.
To Moeen at 3 though. If Moeen at 3 is providing that balance, Moeen plays down the order for England but up the order for CSK.
Yeah.
So Moeen could go in at 3. They really want someone who, like Robin, was giving them 20 ball, 30 runs.
I feel like they may go for one of the uncapped Indian batters if they can just throw in somebody, because there's enough experience. You don't. It's fine. Look at there's tons of experience. You have Conway, Moeen Ali, Jadeja, Dhoni. There's no shortage of experience. You could play Dhoni with 10 complete newbies and you'd still say that team has experience.
A, that, B is that they can sort of sit back a bit. Given the fact that they don't have that many obvious holes, they can sit back a bit in the first 2 places and what other people spend their money.
Yeah.
And then come when they, once the money has been spent on the Stokes and the Mayank Agarwals of the world, the Sam Currans of the world, then they can come in.
I'm just saying, they've had Sam Curran and Dhoni is very fond of Sam Curran. You saw it.
I think Dhoni had a role to play in Sam Curran's emergence as a T20
Do you
player.
think that they will bid for it?
Would be absolutely. So look, if you're a player like Sam Curran who can bat at 7 and now bowl at the death, you're perfect for every team.
Every team.
Yeah. But will they? Because here's also the thing. Last year, they had those crazy bids for Deepak Chahar, but otherwise, Chennai doesn't do that.
No.
Chennai has never been one for high altitude bidding, right?
But if you remember when he played at CSK, they even sent him up the order sometimes. So they like playing around with Sam Curran, and because they've got a very strong Indian core, they can have another overseas player, and he's the perfect long-term replacement for Dwayne Bravo.
Fair enough. I'm just saying that because this mahal that has happened around Sam Curran, that he'll attract a lot of bids. I don't think Chennai will probably just say, we don't do that. That's not our philosophy.
No. Or they'll sit back and say, 15, 16, he's still around at 15, 16, I have a chance. I think once he goes above that 16, 17, they'll say, okay.
That leads me to the other question. Do you think that will break? Because what is it? Right now there's
16.25.
There's Tall Boy, right?
Yeah, Chris Morris.
Yeah,
sure.
Tall Boy.
Finished.
Yeah, 16.25.
He still hasn't finished the money though.
Well, that'll take a while to finish. But he is 25 lakhs at UV was 16 1 year.
Yeah, 16.25.
Right? So 16.25.
Kyle Jamieson was 15.
There you go.
And there was one other player.
Ishan's
15.25
something.
15.25.
So do you think
they could remember too that if you get Curran is 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
And if you really think that he's going to be available throughout, England are now bullish on IPL.
Yeah, they'll retain him.
So if you get Sam Curran, you might have got him for 7, 8 years. They got Dwayne Bravo in 8, 9, 10 in 2011. And he played for them till 2022.
Yeah.
So Sam Curran, they could say it's a 10-year bid.
Yeah.
So let's go for him.
So I remember that great story because, that was the 2011 IPL auction. And if you remember, that was the year West Indians didn't have any availability. There was zero availability. So Chris Gayle, if you remember, didn't get a bid. So KKR not bidding may have been some issue or the other. But all the other teams not bidding is, you don't not bid for Chris Gayle. It's because there's no availability. And when it finished, Chennai bid. Okay.
Well, that was for Dwayne Bravo.
For Dwayne Bravo, picked him up.
Nobody bid for Dwayne Bravo.
Yeah, they picked him up. And then every team looked around, and one particular team, especially the team that had him, turned and said, what do you guys know that we don't know?
Yeah.
that you picked him up. And of course, he played. He played most of the time. Then he went on.
So did they do? I'm sorry, but did Chennai do with Dwayne Bravo what Mumbai did with Jofra Archer last year? Or they knew he's not available for this season, but we'll buy him.
The suspicion was, and I know we're going back 10, 11 years, that only they knew that he might be available.
He might be available.
But then, of course, later, about a few weeks later, RCB picked up Chris Gayle.
Yeah, this guy got
this is
injured,
the
very
same-
conveniently injured.
Yeah. Dirk Nannis.
Dirk Nannis got very conveniently.
And then Chris Gayle comes
He
in.
comes, hits a
goes to
century against
Calcutta.
us.
Against
I don't
Calcutta.
remember that.
Against who?
Against.
Did he say us?
Yeah, he said us.
No, I didn't say. I mean, I was part of KKR.
No, he
then.
did.
I was a part of KKR then. hell.
Rewind it. He said us, and that us was not for the Kardashians. He didn't say us for the Kardashians. Said for the other K, for Kolkata. Right?
Other K.
Keeping up with the KKR.
I've always wanted Kiran More to be the coach of KKR. Just for Shahrukh to say, Kiran.
Oh, stop it. It's closed though.
That was very bad.
It's closed. Well, he's got Chandrakant Pandit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, close enough. Yeah. I think he wanted Kiran More and sorry, wrong case.
Or is a scout for MI, no?
There you go. All right, let's have a look at the defending champions. They came, they saw, they conquered. We're talking about GT. GT, man, GT. GT ne trophy pehle saal mein GT. And they've let a few players go. They've got about 20 crores available. That has mainly happened because they have decided that they don't have a taste for Loki.
Yeah, they're unlucky this year.
They unlocked 10 crores, I think about 10 with him. And Kolkata picked him up. They've let him go. Gurbaz has also gone over there. Who else? Well, there you go. They're the release players. Thank you for that. Dominic Drakes, Gurkirat Singh, Jason Roy, Varun Aaron, Lockie Ferguson and Gurbaz. So Lockie Ferguson is half the purse that has got released for them now at this auction is Lockie. What do you make of that, by the way?
I think they're unsure of what kind of conditions they will play in.
Yeah.
And so maybe Lockie Ferguson, this is something Ashish was saying to us when we were in New Zealand, that maybe Lockie is not, if all the matches had been in Mumbai like they were last time,
Yeah.
with the pitches on offer in Mumbai, Lockie Ferguson becomes a wow player.
Yeah.
But now they're getting 10 crores for him.
Yeah.
So you could get somebody else in 10 crores as well.
Yeah.
So I think that is the reason that Lockie has moved. And I think they like Alzari. They've got Alzari Joseph,
True.
who's actually quietly does quite well, you know.
Yeah.
Alzari Joseph, you think, who are the big fast bowlers? Alzari is clocking 140 plus. But they will need another a backup for Alzari. But there's so many international fast bowlers available, they'll go and pick
Correct.
one.
Yeah.
So this is exactly my point. That Alzari was playing ahead of Lockie towards the end.
Yeah.
And their thought process would be, am I going to spend 1/8 of my purse on a player who's basically a reserve player?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
So that's why they released him. Again, there's another point. We came across this when we were at the 2011 auction table. There are some categories in which, for a little bit of difference in money, you don't get too much of a difference in the players. That means international fast bowlers. You'll have a band of international fast bowlers, all of whom are very close to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't need to necessarily break the bank of one for Lockie Ferguson. And I think that's what they've done. They've said, we'll probably get a decent fast bowler for 3.5, 4 crores, and we can probably upgrade at 2 other positions for the same money.
Yeah.
My sense is, Gurbaz, they released for very little money. My sense is that the Kolkata deal would have been, you need to give us Gurbaz as well for this deal to happen, because you're also I'm taking 10 crore off your books.
Yeah.
Which means I'm increasing your purse by 10 crores. So the deal would have been, okay, I'll give you Gurbaz as well.
So I understood the Lockie Ferguson move. I didn't understand the Gurbaz.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a wicket keeper, right? Then they had to play Saha in the odd position. They had to play Matthew Wade. Matthew Wade scores for Australia, but he doesn't score in franchise cricket.
Yeah.
And he bats at 3, whereas Australia finishes matches at 7.
There are wicket keepers
So
available.
Rahmanullah Gurbaz is actually perfect. He's a fabulous player for Afghanistan. A top order player, opener, wicket keeper. He is very good to have in the side.
And 50 lakhs.
So I was a little surprised that they let Rahmanullah Gurbaz
That's
go.
the only reason. That must have been a package deal.
Could be. Combo offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want
Otherwise,
Gaurav Kapur, Joy comes. Oh, sorry, Bhattacharjya Gaurav comes with him.
no.
I
It's
come
the other
free.
way around.
No.
It's the other way around.
I'm the fries to his burger. Right? I was going to say Bruce Jenner. No.
I'm the relish, he's the burger, you may be the fries.
No, he was trying to find the appropriate character from the soaps that you watch.
I was trying to find the appropriate connection from the Kardashians, and then I realized that I've never watched it. So I have no
Never watched it
idea.
either.
I don't know where I was going. Am I the Kanye West? the Ye. Sorry, am I the Ye to your Kim? Is that what it is? Yeah, we're divorced each other now. Ask CB, ask Cricbuzz, hashtag. We've got a couple of questions that have come in. Let's have a look. Which one we're going to play? Oh, there you go. Pravesh. Pravesh ने प्रवेश कर लिया अब हमारे शो पे आइए. Via cash amounts exchanged in trades not revealed. Oh, naughty Pravesh, are you income tax division? What are you asking?
I think you have to check.
Market value of the player is hidden as we don't know how willing the seller was to get him off the books, how desperate the buyer was to acquire him.
You do know, though, that if you have got a player like Lockie Ferguson, that is the amount that is going off your purse.
Yeah.
So if Lockie has been sold in the previous auction for 10 or 10.5 and KKR has taken him, then 10.5 goes off your books.
Yeah.
So to that extent, it is open. I remember when the Quinton de Kock's transfer happened from RCB to MI, or when the Trent Bolt happened, that was that was all cash at the auction price.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Is there some plus cash also sometimes?
Yeah.
Can that happen?
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen the reverse also. You can actually have a player for less cash. They want to get him off their books.
So which means that if there's a player I have for, let's say, 5 crores and I don't want him, you may actually give an offer of 4 crores and I'll take that hit.
And I'll take the 4 crores. Mind you, this player has to keep getting 5 crores because you'll say, okay, I've got him off my books. I'm still paying him 1 crore rupees.
So basically, you pay him 4 and I'll pay him 1.
It's actually happened once.
It's called CR7, right?
Wow, naughty. Naughty.
Okay. So
Don't hit a guy when he's down. Yeah, everyone is going messy anyway.
He's a champion player.
Which one are you talking about?
CR7. No, everyone is saying Messi is GOAT. I mean, if I was a club owner, I'd tell Cristiano, listen, I mean, like, you can't get £3.5 million a week or whatever he earns.
Yeah.
But come and play. We'll give you a good club. Come and play at Juventus. Come and play somewhere else. We'll give you a good club. But before all the football guys come and say, stick to your game, as if they own the game and we're not allowed to. Let's move on. But I just thought, they've got Gill.
Yeah.
But who bats at number 2, number 3?
Here's the thing. Sai Sudarshan has been opening.
Yes.
Right? So he is open. Maybe, and they batted him 3 last year. So he's been opening in domestic.
But they batted him off and on. He didn't play every game.
Maybe they think that he's ready. Maybe they think he's cooked.
Maybe.
I mean, they wouldn't. See, one thing we know, we spent enough time with Ashish and, Vikram Solanki and all this, Gary Kirsten, all these people. They're not chumps, right? They know what they're doing. They know enough. He's a brother, man. But I'm just thinking, have they seen, and I actually haven't spoken to Ashish about this, but have they maybe seen Sai and saying in domestic and saying, all right, maybe we'll back him, he's ready to open.
Could be. He had a couple of good games last year.
Yeah.
But I still think if they can find a way to play Wade down and find a really dominant number 3 player, then their lineup becomes Gill, somebody at 2, somebody at 3. But they've got Pandya 4, Miller 5, Wade 6, Tewatia 7, Rashid 8. There's a lot of power down.
True.
But if they can have some power up in the top 3, because Gill is not going to tee off at 140, 145. So if they can have power at 2 and 3, and that is where we keep talking every year about Vijay Shankar.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen.
No, I think they want to upgrade that second position. My problem is that they'll always play Rashid Khan, fast bowler. Let's call him Alzari Joseph for now.
Yeah.
Rashid Khan.
Rashid Khan is Alzari Joseph.
No. I think Rashid Khan plus Alzari
fast
Joseph.
Bowler.
One fast
foreign
bowler.
fast bowler.
For right now. And Miller.
David Miller.
These are the 3 fixed slots.
Yes.
Okay, you can't mess with these.
Correct.
Now it is about, do I keep Riddhiman and keep an international batsman at 2 or 3? Or do I do a batsman?
I'm just saying, just to throw into the mix, there's a lot of young keepers that are available in the auction as well.
Yeah.
There's a few. They could go after them. They could go after maybe, why not go after a guy like Harry Brook?
Harry Brook is exactly the name that was coming to my mind as well.
Yeah.
That I think Harry Brooks is a great choice for them because he gives them that variety as an opener. Shubman can take his own time because Harry Brooks is a bit of a dasher. And I think he's ideal for them because he stabilizes them up front. See, last year, let's face it, they batted out of their skins.
Yeah.
Okay. True. The kind of season that Hardik Pandya had at 4, 5, and Miller had at 5 is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay. They had unbelievable seasons. It's not going to happen every year.
Yeah.
So you need some other big batsman. Shubman had a much better year than he's had for KKR for a long time. So which means all these 3 are never going to, there's some, what they call regression to the mean. Every year can't be a standout year. So, sorry. So,
No.
somewhere,
The moment he said regression to the mean, I was looking at him.
they've got to come closer to their normal averages. So,
Not regression to the mean. My question to that is, what does that mean? What is the regression? What is the mean? What is the mean of the mean?
give me 30 seconds, let me tell you. I have to tell you this because I'm dying to tell you.
Okay.
Okay, basically what...
Your time starts
Now.
Okay. What happens is something called the Sports Illustrated curse, which means that if you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated, after that your performance always goes down. So people used to say it's a curse. How is it so accurate? The truth is, why are you on the cover of Sports Illustrated? Because you played extraordinarily for a while. Okay. Now you cannot continue to play extraordinarily all the time. So mostly after that your performance will go back to more normal levels. So your performance always falls after that. So the whole point about it is that whenever players have standout seasons, you cannot depend upon them to have standout seasons year after year.
Yeah.
Especially in the middle of their career. So what all I'm saying is players like Hardik Pandya, David Miller, they have played at a level which is much above their average. And you have to say that odds on, they'll probably come closer to their average. If
So
that's
they
the
will
case, somebody has to pick
regress.
up this stuff.
Regression to the
Regress
mean.
to the mean.
I get it. But I have a question for all of you, which you can answer on Twitter. Has any sports person been on the cover of Sports Illustrated twice?
Many times actually.
बताओ कौन? Thrice?
5 times. There's more than that.
5 times. तो फिर उनका regression कहाँ है और उनका mean कहाँ है?
That is because those players are generation players.
Then they are goats.
Muhammad Ali,
Jordan, Ali,
Muhammad Ali, Messi, not Messi. I don't know about Messi. Jordan.
CR7?
Michael Jordan,
Messi. No, but Sports Illustrated American.
American.
अच्छा अच्छा.
So Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Tiger
These are
Woods.
goats.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. They are goats.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. That was the question. But right now we're going to go to the GOAT team. Actually, GOAT fans of Bangalore. Because it's a team that's never won the trophy, but their fans never leave them. That's right. But this time, they have had some players who have left them, but not too many. And in terms of the money left, they don't have too much money as well. So I don't know what's going to happen to this auction for them because,
So Bangalore has suddenly decided to behave like Chennai.
yeah.
We're a set team. We've got everything in control. We're not going to change very much. We're stable leadership. This is a complete, again, antithesis to the great Malia days where, the flavor of the season was always bought. They have retained almost everything. They've stuck to their plans. When has Mumbai stuck, when has RCB stuck to a bowling attack for more than 2 years? It doesn't happen.
That's true. They are like Punjab with coach and captain.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah,
They
but
can actually distribute these 8 crores as additional allowance to their players and play the same team. They don't need to do anything.
they really don't because if you look at...
They only have a couple of issues.
International, what do you...
The only issue is Hasaranga is going to come on the 8th of April, I think.
Yeah, so he misses
He misses a couple of games, 2 or 3 games. And after that horrific accident that you would not wish on your worst ever enemy, they don't know how fit Glenn Maxwell will be coming back.
Yeah,
That kind of accident you don't wish on anybody.
yeah.
But he's had enough time to come back. So if Glenn Maxwell comes back, then that's fine. But I think they only need maybe someone at 6. Because you see, they've got Faf, Virat, Patidar, Maxwell. Maybe Karthik bats at 6. If they can get a 5 or a 6. And then they've got Shabaz, Hasaranga, Harshal, Siraj, Hazelwood. It's a fabulous team.
It's a really good 11.
This Sala Cup is could well be Namde.
Namde. But what about the death overs? They have this.
See, that's
death
what
overs
Harshal has never done that well in India as he has done outside, and he's never really performed in Bangalore. So that's going to be the big thing for him.
7 games in Bangalore, remember? Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
8, is it
especially
8 now? No.
death overs started at Chinnaswamy only, no?
Yeah. So,
You send them out.
अरमानों की डेथ हो जाती है
हाँ.
लास्ट में बॉल डालोगे तो आप क्या
But if you're a death bowler, your death happens in the chase.
एग्जैक्टली
हाँ. हाल में 2 अरमानों की डेथ हो गई थी. हाल में एक कुलदीप यादव को लिया नहीं टेस्ट मैच में.
Correct.
और एक अरमान जाफर ने 100 बनाए, बड़े रन बनाए, फिर भी बॉम्बे ने अरमान को लिया नहीं.
No, but I was just thinking that if Kuldeep had done just a little better in the first test, maybe he could have got.
He only got man of the match.
That's right.
You can't do it with just.
I mean, if he had worked a little harder and got man of the series in the first test,
like Sharma ji ka beta must have.
maybe.
But tell me,
Some Sharma ji ka beta.
Some Sharma ji ka beta.
I mean, we are digressing, but would you want to drop Akshar Patel and play Kuldeep? Or leave out Unadkat and play Kuldeep?
So I think that was a big call. It was Unadkat versus.
You can't leave out Akshar Patel. If you keep leaving out Akshar Patel and say you had one bad game, get out, then you have to keep dropping everybody, right?
Sir, par right now auction.
RCB.
Auction.
Correct. RCB.
Auction.
RCB.
RCB, I
RCB
love
need
it.
one.
RCB is boring and I love it. RCB is boring, predictable, solid, sticking to their
Exactly
decisions.
what we over the years they've not been.
They've never been.
Yeah, that's true actually. That's weird.
Vijay Mallya will be having sleepless nights. What are these guys doing? They're keeping the same team.
By Ben Stokes.
Where's the volatility, my friends? That's right. So there you go.
They can't buy Stokes. They can't buy Curran. They don't have. I think they just need one more batter. What if someone gets injured? They need one more batter. Rajat Patidar has come along really well for them. But if Hasaranga is not there, they can play Karan Sharma. He's been playing Mushtaq Ali regularly. He's back at Railways. He can get a couple of games there. Something happens to Siraj, they can play Sid Kaul. So not only do they have a team, they also have reasonable replacements around them. They could then play Finn Allen up at the top of the order if Hasaranga is not there. Play Karan Sharma for Hasaranga. Push Finn Allen top of the order. Play Kohli down at 3.
That's a great idea.
Play Kohli down at 3. So this is an RCB team that has options.
Yeah.
Earlier there was Virat, there was Abing, and whatever grew in the shadow.
Yeah.
When Gale was around, Gale, but whatever grew in the shadow. Now they've got options. It's actually a really good, solid, as Joy said, almost predictable kind of side.
Yeah. They, previous auctions, they have sometimes broken the bank and gone for Kyle Jamieson. They did 15.
No, they let Yuvraj go and almost bought him back at a higher price.
Yeah. That was the first time I saw that reverse strategy. Right? You let a player go to get some space, go bid for him again and actually pay more than what you had him for. But then that was just Bangalore doing Bangalore things. But now Bangalore is not doing Bangalore things. Bangalore is doing Chennai things. So can they do the Chennai thing and win the trophy as well? Well, there you go. They don't have too much to pay though. It's just 8.75.
There's one character who had a big part to play in RCB season last year. And that was a player called Lavneet Sisodia.
Yes, most important player.
Most important player, Lavneet.
Patidar came in for him?
Yes.
Because they first of all, they let Patidar go. Nobody bought him.
Yeah.
Lavneet Sisodia has gone. Patidar comes back. Gets that fabulous 100 at Eden Gardens.
Yeah.
And then just before the presentation, Virat Kohli is popping around. He comes to me and says, keep an eye on this kid. He said, isko rokoge kaise?
Yeah.
He said, if he batting shuru karta hai, he said, there's no way you can stop him when he's in form.
Yeah.
And so now they got Patidar, and I think Patidar is going to be a very big component of their season this year.
And that's high praise, by the way.
Amit Sisodia is a lot to... So they let him go, sadly.
So they should, just to close the loop, buy back Lavneet Sisodia this year.
Thank you.
Just as a thank you.
Yeah, like Cheteshwar Pujara and CSK.
Yeah. Doff his hat.
It's happened before.
Doff their hat. Well, anyway, so that's Bangalore. There's really, strangely, there's not much to talk about with Bangalore because normally we have, I think we overshoot always like 15, 18 minutes talking about Bangalore. So we're done with them. That's cool. All you fans will be quite happy because sometimes no news is good news, especially in this case. All right, let's go to the next team. Who we got next? Nikalo.
Delhi?
Huh?
Delhi.
Delhi se nikale? Delhi.
Okay, he's gone to
Aapki
Kolkata.
team aa gayi. Aap dono ki team aa gayi.
Dono ki.
Now, here's the thing. Calcutta somehow has released the most number of players and they go into the auction with the least amount of money. Right?
Calcutta is like me with my pocket money going into a luxury store.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Saying, मेरे को ये भी चाहिए, ये भी चाहिए, ये भी चाहिए, लेकिन pocket money तो उतनी है
It's
बस.
happened. My sister used to work for a while at the Oberoi Grand.
Yeah.
And I had 15 rupees in my pocket, and you go in there and you see the patisserie, and you wonder, it's all there, people are buying, you're just looking at it and waiting for your sister to finish her job and come home with you because you can't buy a thing.
Even with the employee discount?
Even with employee discount.
So he crossed the road, went to Flurry's, had one chota cream roll and came.
Or a little rumball?
उतना पैसा नहीं था.
Rumball का पैसा नहीं था. इसका था, but
It was for the fuchka in Esplanade. That is what I could afford.
Fuchka at Esplanade is quite legendary, by the way. It is quite legendary. But there's no Fuchka here. There's Fuski because they don't have any purse. They barely got 7 crores there. That's because, and you must be wondering why they released 15 players. They've released an entire squad. Why don't they not have? Because they have bought 2 players. One from Delhi, they got Shardul Thakur. 10.
Three players.
10 and then, I'm saying the big ones. And then 10 for Loki.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the big one that they've got. So that's taken 20 crores out of their purse.
Yeah.
And of course, they let a lot of other players go. But there you go. What do you see as the holes of that? Besides just a feeling of, I don't know why, this just seeming a little unsettled.
Before you give about 24 minutes to talk about KKR.
Yeah. We'll go have lunch at that time. So, yeah.
Look at their first 11.
It's a very good first 11.
It's a very good first 11. If Venkatesh Iyer is fully fit, he's not been playing recently, I don't know why. But their first 11 is Gurbaz, Iyer. Let's see if my first 11 matches theirs. Shreyas Iyer, Nitish Rana, Rinku Singh, Russell, Thakur, Narayan, or Loki.
Yeah.
Umesh Yadav, Varun Chakravarti. I've not seen a lot of Varun Chakravarti. So we need to be sure of their two big retentions from in the big auction, Venkatesh Iyer, Varun Chakravarti, if they are fit. Because otherwise, they've got a really good, they've got a side there.
Yep.
Now the question is, what happens if
Injury.
Andre Russell is injured?
Well, I mean, that's something you can never plan for anywhere, right?
The Lord
Barely
will say, "Main kar dunga."
The Lord, you're right. Lord Thakur.
See, I'll tell you one more thing. What you
Chobis?
what you got to look at here is also that they're actually, this is Chandrakant Pandit's team.
Yeah.
He has made these decisions because if you see, these are the biggest moves made in the off seasons.
Yeah.
So they would have told him, this is what we have. We've released these. They're going to release these players. He probably said, I want Shardul. I want Loki. I want that enforcer bowler out there. I want Shardul. So they paid him the money. They've empowered him. They paid him the money. The only problem is, as he said, there's two problems. One is that, replacements are going to be very difficult to get because you don't have the money at all.
Yeah.
There's a second problem there, which is that Rinku Singh, Nitish Rana, they have a ceiling. Nitish Rana gives you 300, 325, 350 runs a year.
Yeah.
But he's not that player who you think could give you 600 runs a year. He hasn't, at least so far. So your upsides are limited. You need, basically, again, you need Andre Russell to play at Andre Russell levels.
Yeah.
And Sunil Narayan to keep bowling. And of course, Sunil Narayan has had a huge resurgence as a bowler.
Yes.
The last year or so, he's been fantastic as a bowler. But you need those two to be playing at that level for Kolkata to perform. And that is the only danger they have. They need whoever's there. They can't afford a single guy stepping off the gas.
Yeah.
They have nothing. There's no gas left in the tank.
And they need backups. I mean, they don't have another wicketkeeper. Gurbaz is the only wicketkeeper they have. Last year also they had this wicketkeeper issue. They don't seem to be...
They have to have an Indian wicketkeeper.
Yeah.
They have to have an Indian wicketkeeper come what may, because that will give them flexibility in case they want to pick too quick. Suppose they come to a Mumbai or a Bangalore. They want to play both Southie and Lockey. Then they should be able to play an Indian keeper. So I don't know if they could go for a Jagadisan, they could go for a Bharat. Jagadisan, by the way, scored all his runs in 50 overs cricket.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's in such form that he's even scoring Ranji Trophy. He got 100 in the Ranji Trophy opening the batting. So he could be a good option at as an opener. They have KS Bharat. There'll be wicket keepers going around. He said, what is Chandrakant Pandit's role? I know domestic cricket.
Yeah. He'd say,
I will find players from domestic cricket to come in and fill those holes. So they desperately need an Indian wicketkeeper. I thought actually Liton Das would have been perfect for them, not in the Mashrafi Murtaza sense. Sorry, Joy.
Stop it. Naughty.
It's just that he's such a good player. I mean, him and Gurbaz, they could alternate between him and Gurbaz in that position. They need a backup for Russell. They could buy back Mavi, maybe at a lower price, but I think Mavi will have a few buyers. But they've got Umesh Yadav and they've got Shardul Thakur. They don't have another quick.
They need another quick, definitely.
They need another Indian quick. What if Umesh Yadav suddenly starts going for runs?
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I was looking at the list of Indian quicks. I mean, there are a couple there.
There's some uncapped ones that are there.
There's Mukesh Kumar from Bengal, who's a decent.
But there'll be a few people going after him.
Yep, there's Mukesh Kumar. And there's, I think, Kadirappa. There's this Vidrat Kadirappa, Karnataka bowler who's been doing well.
There you go. The top uncapped Indians, there you have them. I'm going to play a guessing game. So just
This one you're talking about
Vidrat Kadirappa, yeah.
See these names, by the way, because in a while I'm going to do a little contest. All three of us have to put our red dot on one player that we think out of these is going to get the maximum bids. I have mine. Ready.
Bolo.
I think out of all these domestic uncapped players, I've got my money on Sanveer Singh.
More batter than bowler.
Yeah.
From what I've read, I've not seen a lot of him.
Yeah.
But from what I've read, more batter than bowler.
Quite, what is it, 200 strike rate or something?
Whatever. He can contribute a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I think what teams need more, increasingly these days, are bowling all-rounders.
Okay, fair. So who are you going with?
I'm not looking at an all-rounder, but I'm thinking when Mukesh Kumar first appeared,
Yeah.
everyone thought, and I did too, that this was actually Mukesh Chaudhary.
Yeah.
And then I said, 28, 29, right-hander, to ye to koi aur Mukesh hai.
Yeah.
And then he started taking wickets, goes to India A. I'll tell you one other thing. He bowled 4 overs in the second innings for India A in the test match and pulled his hamstring. He would have made his test debut in this test match instead of Jaydev Unadkat.
Yeah.
Because he had got wickets in both the test matches. He had bowled long overs, But as is mandatory with Indian fast bowlers, they have to pull a hamstring or a calf or a groin. They have a obsolescence chip built into them.
Obsolescence chip, which causes the regression to the...
You had to do this.
Yeah, for the Kardashians. I'm just putting all the words together in a little word
It's
salad.
like the Bachchan song from Amar Akbar Anthony.
It's the word, yeah, that's right. My name. You millennials can Google that. Yeah, Roop Mahal Prem.
Prem or Kholi number 420.
Please, excuse me, please.
Excuse me, please. Like Sean Connery.
Ah.
Yeah, we're really giving some very aged references while talking about uncapped Indian players. So there you go. See, there's the dichotomy here, which is why I say हम तीन ही 30 के बराबर हैं. अगर और लोग होते हैं यहाँ पे तो एको भी आ जाता, पर है ही नहीं कोई यहाँ पे हमारे साथ. All right, let's talk about Punjab now, right? Okay, let's go. Let's start. Where are we starting? They have 32.2 crores available because every day is supermarket day in Punjab.
Exactly. See, playing for Punjab is like working in a call center.
Okay, where are you going with
What does he come up with now?
Because you get good money all the time, but after a while you realize no matter how much money you get, this job is not worth it. There's a second reason it's like a call center. There's a second reason it's called a call center, because the owner is likely to call you all the time, even at 2 o'clock at night.
Yeah, mostly through the night.
Mostly at 2 o'clock at night.
You know, some people collect parking tickets.
Yeah.
I think Joy is collecting inward suparis.
Inverts the money. So he's saying it as he's seeing it.
No,
That's
but
what we
seriously,
love about
Punjab,
Professor
what
Bhattacharjya.
are they doing? Anyway, sorry.
No, go on.
It's fine.
What are they doing? Sir, this is one of those existential questions that needs an answer. Let's explore it.
And
What
no,
are they doing?
Yeah, exactly. So you have Mayank Agarwal as a captain, and I know what happened with Mayank Agarwal last year. You had Mayank Agarwal in a situation where he, as a captain of the team, had to move back to number 3 because his other 2 players needed to open.
Yeah.
Shikhar and Bairstow both needed to open. So in one way, and he actually sacrificed his position.
Took a bullet, yes.
Took a bullet for the team, and then realized he was not wanted there anymore.
Yep.
And this has happened. I mean, if you see the number of captains they've changed, the number of coaches they've changed. Look, they've got a really good coach out here now, Trevor Bayliss. Where is Trevor Bayliss now? Well, right now, the Sydney Thunder is playing in the Big Bash League.
Yeah.
So Trevor will not be on the table out here for them.
Ah.
So my point is, who's calling the shots?
So they will be baillessless. They will be baillessless
Less bailless,
at the auction.
yeah.
But
They will be
it's a very valid point, sir. The fact is that this is a cutthroat world. Job security नाम की कोई चीज होती नहीं है. But फिर भी little to captain and coach, you need to build a culture. You need some consistency.
Continuity is the word that they
Yeah.
miss out on completely.
Yeah, which is strange. I mean, even the people, they've let go some people. They seem to always have a good squad. They get some gun players. Why do you think it doesn't translate into?
Because you guys have never been middle class. You don't understand this great joy of saying, "Mera itna bank balance hai."
Every auction.
I have so much money.
Yeah.
But now look at their 11.
Yeah.
I mean, we say this every year. Most teams that go in now have very good first 11s. But this is a serious first 11. Last year, I actually thought Punjab and Lucknow Super Giants had really good teams going out.
Yeah. Look at this team. I mean, Rajapaksa was amazing. Liam Livingston, what he needs no. Shah Rukh Khan's had, not very good seasons, but, he's due one.
Jitesh Sharma actually had an outstanding season.
Fantastic player, yeah.
Yeah, he was really good. They've got a few keepers, haven't they? Maybe. Yeah, they're the keepers of
Rajapaksa and
keepers.
Jitesh. Yeah.
They've got Rabada. They've got... Who are the players that they could target?
The
Because
one
they have
thing that's lacking in this particular 11 is it's got Kishore Rabada, it's got one pace bowler. Arshdeep will bowl everywhere. Then you're relying too much on Rishi Dhawan.
Yeah.
Who's okay. I mean, Rishi Dhawan at number 7 is not going to score at 150.
They can pick anybody they want. They've
They
got
can-
32
no,
crores.
there's a
They can
player
get a
that-
fast bowler also. International
Yeah.
fast bowler.
There's a player, in fact, this time on our way back from New Zealand, I was talking to some of the coaches around the under-19. They all rate Raj Baba high. And Raj Baba, I think, would probably make the team ahead of Rishi Dhawan.
Yeah.
So Raj Baba will give you that other option.
Oh, he's a good player.
Yeah. I would also like them to have one more gun Indian batter because there could be a situation when if Eden Gardens is a good surface again, Mumbai is a good surface, they might want to play Nathan Ellis and Kagiso Rabada both. If they want to play both of them, then there's no room for...
But they've got Prabh Simran, another keeper batter.
Nahin.
Prabh Simran has done some hitting for them.
Then they can't play Rajapaksa because they want to play Bairstow and Livingston.
Yeah.
If they want to play Ellis and Rabada, they can't play Rajapaksa. They need one Indian top order batter. Maybe Jitesh Sharma can go up to 3, but they still need that one batter. Atharva Taide scores runs for Maharashtra. He scores, but I don't think either him or Prabh Simran are those players who will say, I'm going to come and do it. So one proper Indian batter,
They've got
that's all they need.
32 crores. So
they
they
are
pretty
the-
much just choose.
See, also they are the kind of team who could say that I'm going to pick up one of Sam Curran or Ben Stokes.
Yeah.
Because then immediately they get a lot more stability.
Yeah.
32 crores they were sitting on.
They've got the money. They can buy. They can buy.
So they-
They can buy an Indian batter. They can buy an international
whatever they want.
pace bowler. They can buy an all-rounder. They can buy all three.
So if you buy that international all-rounder, then you're just strengthening both sides because you're giving Rabada another option.
Yeah.
You can play the other fast bowler. So you've got all your options, you can move around. The other thing that you can look at out here, look, Shakib, I don't think they're the kind of team who likes, I mean, Shakib would be good for them, but again, anyone who's not playing a full season is going to be a
I'll
bit.
tell you who's having a damn good big bash at the
Akil?
start is Akil Hussain.
Yeah, he's good.
He's having a really
Melbourne,
good big bash.
right?
He's scoring runs. He's taking the new ball.
Yeah,
He's a serious cricketer.
Akil Hussain
Hussain.
actually is a serious. Even for Trinbago Knight Riders, he was fantastic.
yeah, could be. See a few bids coming in for him as well. Got a good fielder. I remember this game against India, the T20
Got
game where he
into the
flew
side
and got-
because Fabian Allen was injured.
Yeah,
And Akil Hussain came and he's just a wonderful cricketer.
Yeah, there's other thing. You think about it tactically. If I'm Punjab, what am I telling myself at the option? The only guys who can beat me, see all these Sam Curran, Ben Stokes, they all come up in the second set.
Yeah.
There's the first set of Indians and there's the second set. First set of Indians, the only Indian who will go high is Mayank Agarwal. I don't see any of the other Indians going for the huge price.
yeah.
The second set is Ben Stokes, Sam Curran, all that. They'll sit there and say, who can outbid me? There's only one team that can outbid me.
That's
and that's
Hyderabad.
SRH. Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Okay. Hyderabad's going to get one of these two.
Yeah,
Whoever the other is, I can get it.
yeah,
So that's the way they logically you look at it, they can get whoever they want.
yeah. They're going to do it. Punjab's got a good team and they've got all the money in the world. So you're going to see. But just hope they just don't do random bidding. Sometimes you just feel they're doing random bidding.
I mean, obviously Rajasthan Royals would like to have Stokes back over there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they can match the bidding. I won't be surprised if Stokes goes to Punjab.
Let's see how much money Rajasthan has going into it. Do they have a royal sum? No, I'd say not really. It's 13.2.
They're almost in Kolkata territory.
Yeah, it's not that bad though. That's 7. This is 13, which means they can actually do some serious bidding for one of the big players.
One of the big players.
Right? But if you look at, they have 9 slots that are available. They have 4 overseas that are available. Let's have a look at the team. Let's have a look at, who they've let go. What are the chances that they have? They have, of course, their captain, Sanju Samson there. They've got, young top order Indians. They've got Joss Butler, of course. There's, what do you think?
Down that list, there's a name, Dhruv Jurel, who's just scored a lot of runs in domestic cricket.
Yeah.
I don't know what the situation with Padikkal is. I haven't seen him play a bit, but they will need a middle order player, a strong middle order player, because they've got a lot of power. I mean, you look, Butler, Jaiswal, Samson, Hetmeyer. The good news for them is I think it's been a breakout domestic season for Riyan Parag,
Yeah.
who's also bowled a lot, which is what his role was, not just bowl one over and stand in the deep and pick up catches.
Yeah.
And he's batted number 4 for Assam and scored runs. So this could well be the breakout season for Riyan Parag. So if Parag bats at 6. Now look what happens. Ashwin 7, the batting is over after that.
Yeah.
So this team looks very good. They've also got Obaid McCoy.
Yeah.
So they can play both of those, but I think they'll still need a backup there, a middle order, and maybe an overseas all-rounder. I mean, it's made for Ben Stokes, that side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My big problem with this is your traditional 6-5 team. Go back there, you'll see that you have 6 batsmen and Ashwin starts your sort of next at 7 is your 5 bowlers with Ashwin starting
Yes.
at 7.
Yeah, but last year they had like gun performances from Joss
Exactly.
Butler for batting
Again, you've
and
got-
Chahal for bowling.
You had Butler, Samson going totally crazy.
Yeah.
So what happened was you had a season where you didn't need that much from the rest.
Correct.
Okay.
So
So
that 6-5 is archaic philosophy with T20.
yeah, and it's a bit
I mean,
scary.
they did play the final, yes.
Also, you don't know if
And your
Hetmeyer
6
gets
is
right.
Riyan Parag, who's not the most, at this point in time, not the most reliable batsman.
Yeah.
So if you get a gun international all-rounder and you plonk him there at 6,
Yeah.
and he can bowl a bit too, and then you can say that, okay, I can sneak off one of the bowlers and get a bit more batting. So, Cameron Green, Sikandar Raza, I like Sikandar Raza actually, really, really like him. But they could definitely look at a Ben Stokes as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, Sri Lanka doesn't have the aura around it, but Dasun Chanaka finishes a lot of games for Sri Lanka. He's a really good finisher. The other issue is, I'm, sitting next to Joy, wearing Joy's jacket, a little bit of that. Come on, will Hetmyer catch his flight?
Uh-oh, naughty.
Sorry, gone, moved on.
No,
But
true
Hetmyer
though.
was Hetmyer's. Hetmyer in the IPL bears no relation to Hetmyer playing for the West Indies.
Because
For
he
the West
doesn't
Indies
play for the
cricket-
West Indies.
For the West,
That is the honest answer.
even when he does, for the West Indies, Nicholas Pooran is this wow player. Doesn't score runs in the IPL ever.
Yeah.
Hetmyer, they say, yeah, but he's not quite Pooran, and he lights up the IPL every year. So Hetmyer is made for this situation. They need that player who can do a little bit of both. They had that player and they've let him go, and that's Daryl Mitchell.
Yeah.
They had that player and they've let him go.
I was a little surprised about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, these are the 4 that they picked up last year in the accelerated part of the auction.
Yeah. They're
they
right
had
at
money
the end.
left,
Right?
they went
Remember,
for
with that 7 minutes to go and 4 players to pick or something like that.
Yeah.
One, they went Mitchell,
There was
Nelson, all of them. One
some
after the
speed dating situation went on
Yes.
right at the end. But they've let them all go.
Would they? Where is Daniel Sams? He's in the auction, right?
Yes.
Sams could be a good option for them as well because he gives a little bit with the bat. Okay.
A decent amount of the bat, actually.
Yeah, a decent amount with the bat, and he sort of stabilizes that. See, that 6-5 situation depends on breakout seasons for your top 5 batters.
Correct. Then you
It
put
doesn't
this
happen
extra
every year.
pressure, right? I mean, you don't, I don't know, 6-5 doesn't seem like how anyone in the world is playing T20 cricket, but the Royals managed to do it last year.
They've got a really
Sometimes-
good Indian core. I think
Yeah.
because they've got Jaiswal, Samson, I don't know what season with Padikkal is, Parag, Ashwin, Chahal, Prasidh Krishna, Kuldeep Sen. So they've got a really good Indian core around there. Navdeep Saini is injured at the moment. I hope Prasidh Krishna comes back because he's a quality bowler. But like every other Indian fast bowler, they deem it necessary to get injured. But Prasidh Krishna is a fantastic bowler. Navdeep Saini with his injuries is going off. But they've got that Indian core so they can invest in the foreign players.
Okay. So,
Sikandar Raza, we haven't talked enough about Raza. I think he can fit into so many teams.
yeah. Do you think that Sikandar Raza will get a lot of bids? Do you think he'll go to double digits? Do you think he'll be in single digits?
May not, because he doesn't have the aura of being from one of the fashionable countries.
Hashtag Mahal.
Mahal.
As I say, sir, Mahal ban jata hai kahin pe, but kahin pe nahi banta. He's got a 50 lakh purse, but anybody... Here's the thing now, right? While we on the outside talk about Mahal, some of the players, or some of the people at the auction tend to go for flavor of the season. But as we are seeing the years go along, there's some very astute minds on these tables who are not falling for all the jazz and fancy, right, Joe? Is that fair to say?
I think it's more. I feel that teams that are more professionally managed, they tend to fall less for fancy because, they know finally these players have to justify. See, what happens is owners see these performances or see them on TV and do the calls. But teams which are not so dependent on owners can just go on and do their own thing. So in that sense, Gujarat is the freest team.
Yeah.
Because it's not really got ownership, it's got a conglomerate who said, your job is to do the cricket, our job is to buy these things.
Yeah.
So that's well separated. So I think you're getting better and better people. Now you're getting people, Punjab table has somebody from the Birmingham, 100 team.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
Birmingham.
Phoenix, yeah. So you have people like that who get agreement. Tim Wigmore is working with the team. They are getting in quality inputs. Not all of them are always relevant. And now you have a vast variety of really good scouts.
Yeah.
I mean, just the Mumbai Scouts makes a fantastic, cricket team.
Yeah, true.
From
A young
RP
PP,
Singh
a young Parthiv Patel.
Patel, RP Singh, there's so many of them around the place. So you have good scouts. Chandrakant Pandit would have known all the domestic players with the kind of times he's played.
Yeah.
Serious scouts.
I like that.
The serious scouts. Someone said at one Mushtaq Ali game there were more scouts than spectators.
Which is
Which if true is sad, which is almost certain not to be true. But I think that was a great line searching to be printed.
Yeah, but I mean,
You see, I repeated it also, so maybe it was.
But the fact is that what you don't know is that there were 5,000 spectators and 5,001 scouts. See, that's believable as well. There being 5,001 scouts is quite believable. All right, let's move to the Delhi team. Because the Delhi team, well, they have actually sold one of their first 11, which is Shardul Thakur. He's gone to Kolkata, which is then freed up, again, half the salary that's available for them, 19.45 crores. So they go in with a reasonable sum. And what's their 11 looking like right now? So let's have a look at that and see what are the holes that they would need to fill right here for Delhi.
I think they're like RCB, except they've got more money. They've got a very settled team.
Yeah.
They've got a very settled team and a captain who's currently 90 not out of 93 balls. He's done it again in Test match cricket. Can he do that in India's best Test match player at the moment, without a shadow of doubt?
Yeah.
Is Rishabh Pant.
Yep.
And can he do that again in white ball cricket, in T20 cricket? Because if he does that, look at that side. If everybody is fit, I think their problem is fitness. Is Mitch Marsh fit?
Yeah.
Which happens sometimes. But
Mitch Marsh being... Okay, Mitch Marsh...
That's, I don't know if you can
But
ever
if he's
predict
fit,
that.
he is
That's like predicting like where the Kardashians will end up.
terrifying.
if he's fit, he's a fabulous player. And their advantage is they've got just bubbling under this player that everybody on the circuit is raving about, a player called Yash Dhul.
Yep, that's right.
So they could, if Mitch Marsh is unfit, play Yash Dhul at 3. That opens up another overseas
Fast
slot
bowler
for you
slot.
if you
Yeah.
want. If you think Rahman Powell isn't available or is not in good form, you've got Sarfaraz to play that role over there.
Yeah.
So they've got 2 key Indian batters available in those roles to free up the overseas players to play somewhere else.
Yash Dhul ne sub bowlers ko dhul chatai Mushtaq Ali mein. That's right. He was the highest scorer
Yeah. No, absolutely. Their top 2 players are both Delhi captains. So they've both had outstanding seasons. And look, if Prithvi Shaw can keep, and here's the point, that it doesn't matter what he looks like. You know, it doesn't matter whether he's, doesn't look the fittest player on earth. You score that many runs at that rate, I don't know why he's not playing for India.
It just seems to be that at this point in time, there are 50 players whose names are taken around the India setup. And Prithvi is not one of them.
Yeah.
Right? Just seems like there's a lot more than just performance.
So exactly. I was talking to a fairly senior coach and he was telling me this one thing, that Prithvi's great ability is the ability to hit good balls as well.
Yeah.
Very few players have that. Sehwag had it because it requires a combination of reflexes and, bat speed, which means that anything you can hit if you set your mind. Of course, you could also get out completely to a terrible ball as well, but that ability is not, you can't buy that ability. You know what I mean? You can't even train that ability. So
Joyce come on the long run about everybody today.
Yeah.
But one reputed Indian coach told me, he who shall go unnamed.
Yeah. One sec. Is he a reputed Indian coach? Like he's Indian or he's been India coach?
I'm not going to go anywhere.
Okay, let's come
I'm not going to go. Whatever. No, that's it. My sources are confidential. Sources. Sir, I'm going to give you news television type. Confidential sources told me.
Sir, वो तो मैं देखता नहीं हूँ. Like Kardashians, I don't watch news television also, so I have no idea what happens there.
Because there is a fictional character over there called the source.
The source.
In news.
I want to write a story, so I create a source who told me that.
That's right. He's a busy guy. This Mr. Source is a really busy guy.
Producer called, telling come
Who
back.
do Delhi need?
No, if you look down that Delhi side,
Yeah.
the reason I was saying those 2 India batters are so crucial is they've got 3 good overseas fast bowlers.
Yep.
They've got
Lungisani,
Lungisani,
Anrek
Nokia and Fizz.
and Fizzy Rahman.
Now, there might be days when you want to play 2 out of those 3.
Yep.
So then you play Warner and Marsh, have an Indian batter for Powell, or have Warner and Powell have an Indian batter for Marsh, and play 2 of Nokia and Gedi and Fizz.
Fair enough.
Or you're playing in Chennai, if the ball is gripping a little bit, Fizz becomes a much better bowler, ball flying a bit, Lungi can bowl over there. So having India batters allows them to play overseas quicks. And that's why I think they're a good side.
There's also
They need a number 6.
There's also the resurgence of Kuldeep Yadav,
Yes.
right? So I mean,
And Akshar is still playing.
yeah, Kuldeep, who was almost broken by his previous team, has been mended by Delhi, so he's there as well as an option. But they need a backup keeper.
They need a backup keeper. And I think they need another Indian fast bowler, because I think when they need to play a second Indian fast bowler, they don't have too many other options.
They've got 2. They've got Khalil Ahmed, who guess what Khalil Ahmed's physical state at the moment is.
It's a bit like guessing the Kardashians' relationship status.
Injured.
Again.
Oh, this was a predictable one then.
Sakaria and Khalil. They've got 2 quicks. Yeah, they need one more quick. They need one at 6. I think they've given this Lalit Yadav a very long rope.
run,
Yeah.
Very long
Because
rope.
he also gives them a couple of overs.
He gives them off spin, but he had this reputation of being this big hitter for Delhi. He's never done that in the IPL.
I mean, Akshar can play that role.
Bat at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then नीचे batting कौन करेगा और पीछे batting all round चाहिए आपको वहाँ पे at 6.
And how much money they have? They're 13. So they can go for
They have 20, close to 20.
No, Delhi's got
Delhi's got close to
19.45.
25.
Then they can go for a big guy.
Go big.
So even if they don't get a big one, suppose you say in that order that there's Stokes, Curran, you don't get Stokes or Curran, you will definitely get a Sikandar Raza. You'll definitely get a Sikandar Raza.
Yeah.
The other thing is,
Or a David Weiss.
yeah, Mitch Marsh, if he bowls, they've got that all-rounder there.
And
we still have
One more team to do.
One more team because वो कहते हैं ना पहले आप वाले को मैंने लास्ट के लिए छोड़ा क्योंकि उन्होंने कहा पहले सारी टीमों की बात कर लो फिर हमारी बात करना. That is the Lucknow team. Lucknow also has a fair amount of money. That's a good chunk of change that they're going with, 23.35 crores. And what is their team looking like? What are the holes that they have that they want to plug? Let's have a look at that. Graphic Lao. Just given up at 90 minutes. I'm just like Graphic Lao. There you go. That's the squad that they have. They are definitely in the market for some foreign players. Now, Mark Wood comes into play.
How much is he going to play? Is he going to be available to play the whole season?
they say he's going to be available.
They say England players are going to be available. They've given official
Yeah,
confirmation.
they've given confirmation.
That everyone, and they are coming with no caveats. Like, for example, Cameron Green comes with a very interesting caveat that he's available for the whole, but if he bowls in the 4th test match versus India, then he can't bowl till the 13th of April.
What
Vastu ka chakkar hai? I don't know.
But what if he finishes overs before 11:52 a.m.?
Then he can bowl by the 11th because it is my birthday. So 11th of April, he is allowed to
Basically,
bowl.
Cricket Australia has said, Cameron Green, you had a good payday in the offing.
Yeah.
We've just taken away half of
Yeah,
that.
we've taken
because
that's
if
right.
he's not going to bowl for half the IPL,
Yeah.
then he's not an all-rounder.
Do you think that somebody in Cricket Australia was getting green with envy?
But look, Cameron Green, how many knocks has he got post those 3? He came to India, had that fantastic
Is he going to go to double digits? Is he going to double digits?
No.
No?
No.
You say no, he's not going to double digits.
Why
you think
would
he's
he?
going to double digits?
I mean, I've got nothing against the kid. He's a fabulous young player.
Yeah,
but at the moment,
It's just a question, sir. Don't shoot messenger.
if I... Yeah.
so much money, so few players.
Yeah.
After.
Sir, hashtag
Go after
Mahal.
Visa, go after Sikandar Raza, go after Josh Little, go after all those players.
Sir, first of all, please don't take this personally. Right? You are taking it very personally. Please, it's very aggressive. It is past his lunch time. He is now hangry.
Like Hungrekar.
Like cranky and hungry at the same time.
I will put on one
Angry.
cricket lover hat again.
No. We want whichever.
Because I'm looking at LSG team.
Yeah.
And I thought last year they had a fabulous auction.
Yeah.
Most teams in the mini auction try to correct what they didn't do right in the main auction.
But they could have a
There's team
regression to
that's
the
done-
mean. Yes.
Very good, yaar. You are very sharp in mathematics.
Thanks, I try, sir. I try.
Here's a team that did very well in the auction that has now almost dismantled the team and is in need of rebuilding again. It's still a really good side, but look at some of the key issues. KL Rahul, Quinton de Kock, Huda, Stoinis, that Kyle Mayers is a good player, man. Kyle Mayers can bat at 3 also if you want, and he'll give you 2 overs. You know, a little bit up there. But Krunal Pandya,
Yeah.
hasn't done much for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And even for Baroda, I was seeing some of the numbers. He wasn't doing that well for Baroda, but he's an established IPL player. He might do well. Avesh Mohsin Bishnoi. Mohsin Khan, standout player
Yeah.
from last year's IPL. Guess where Mohsin Khan is at the moment?
Injured.
I don't know. No one knows. Mohsin Khan's not been heard about.
Exactly.
He's not been heard since the last IPL.
Wait a minute. Who all bowled for UP?
No, he's
Shivam
not
Mavi is
played.
bowling for UP. Yeah, he's not bowling for
He's
UP.
not played. What a player.
Yeah.
I thought Mohsin Khan would have been playing for India now.
So
He
this
was
is the
fantastic
thing.
last
There's
year, you're
just So many. You're right. There's so many players. There's so many players in the mix. Then there are those getting injured. Then because there's still no selectors, right? So that's why you don't know who's getting selected where. Somebody's coming to New Zealand, gets diverted to Bangladesh. Somebody's in Bangladesh with the A team, gets injured, comes back.
That's a very good question.
It's so confusing. But you're right. Where is? अगर आपको पता है, अगर आपने इस आदमी को कहीं देखा है, हमें बताइए. No, but seriously, guys, look it up. There is motion right now. But who did they need?
They've got lots of holes in the middle order because they've released Manish Pandey, they've released Jason Holder, they've released Evan Lewis, who is not playing this year's IPL.
Yeah.
They've released all those players. Kyle Mayers might be one of those, but they need that all-rounder again. From a team that was so well structured, they need that all-rounder again.
Yeah, but
They've
one
released
second.
Chamira.
Yeah, I was a little surprised there.
A little surprised. I think Taskin Ahmed would be a very good choice for a lot of franchises. But again, he's Bangladesh, so he'll only play that much. We don't know how good Badoni has been after that a fantastic opener.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done that much.
Yeah.
Badoni. So now suddenly they need a top order Indian batter to play the role that Manish Pandey was playing.
Yeah.
They need the all-rounder to play the role that Jason Holder was meant to play. So now suddenly they've got holes to fill.
Yeah, there you go. These are the players that they could go for. The death bowlers. Yash Thakur is there. Yash Thakur is another one I'm thinking that they'll be
Yash Thakur could be one of the top players.
a bit of bidding for. Then they've got some all-rounders there. And they have the money, so they could perhaps go for, Ben Stokes, Sam Curran,
Again,
one of
see,
the big
when
bowlers.
they constructed with that idea that you have 3-4 all-rounders going one after the other.
Yeah.
And that is something with Kunal Pandya, Jason Holder, a lot of all-rounders.
So Marcus Stoinis.
So you get that sort of middle order sort of all-rounder.
But here's the thing, they don't have a problem with the middle order batter because they've got Marcus Stoinis at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8.
And 8 was a very good call. And 8. You remember there was one game he
Correct.
bowled and batted at 8.
I remember that. I remember that very well because I remember making so many pehle aap jokes. I think that was his first game. Where they just I think they forgot that Marcus Stoinis is
Like
there.
buying jewelry and putting it in the safe. It's like buying jewelry and putting it in the safe so no one can see it.
And then forgetting the combination.
Of the lock.
But sometimes it happens to Gautam. I told you, in the first season of IPL, when we played, KKR played, so we had so many all-rounders. It was constructed where Yusuf Pathan would bowl, Iqbal Abdullah would bowl. So you had so many bowlers that eventually it ended up that we found out at the end of the season, Callis had bowled only 13, 14 overs for KKR.
Yeah.
Callis is 300 test wickets. We are talking about the serious international bowler, and we didn't bowl him because that's what happens when you have a lot of options out there. Sometimes, you say, this guy's just a bowler, let me bowl him. Because, that guy's a batsman, he can bat as well. Usko wahan chance mil jayega.
So the funny thing is, they finished third last year.
Yeah.
They had a very well-constructed team. They did many, many more things right than wrong.
Absolutely.
Last year. But you look at LS Jadeja. Wow. No, you don't. So maybe this year they need to get 1 or 2 gun players. I won't be surprised at all if they are the team that eventually picks up one of those 2 big all-rounders. They have 23.35 crores.
Yeah.
What do they need? They need one Indian batter. They need one more Indian fast bowler. And they need an all-rounder.
Yeah.
They've got the money for the all-rounder.
Excellent. Well, so here's the thing. Like, to round it up, those were all the 10 teams. To round it up, you know that there are going to be some feeling like irrational number of bids for some players. There's some that you don't know about because there's some good domestic scouts and they've seen something in players whose names you perhaps have not heard. And then you will have some who will pick for, home conditions because all the teams will be playing games at home now. So, the Lucknow Stadium or the Ahmedabad Stadium, Bangalore requires something else, Mumbai requires, Chennai requires something else. So, you'll find some condition-specific players since you're playing half your games at home. So, there's going to be some interesting things that will be happening today. But we're going to do our guessing game as well. Our guessing, okay, I have a different kind of guessing game, right? The highest amount that is going to be given to one player. So I'm not asking you which player, but the highest amount. We already said 16.25 is the all-time record. Sometimes mini auctions do break the all-time records.
I believe mini auctions, you spend more money.
All right, so tell me, what is the biggest check that will be written today?
17.5. I'm going to go big.
17.
With for whom?
No, ये बस इतना ही है. ठीक है. वो बात
Set of
करेंगे.
3 players, yeah.
करेंगे.
Who's the second and third? Hangry.
Sam Curran is one.
Angry. Sir is angry. Sir, tell us, what do you think?
I hope it doesn't go that high because I don't think there's any player who's actually worth 17, 18 crores over those games. That means you're giving someone 1.5 crores a game to play.
Just a little.
Doesn't sound that much when you
it's a
put it
little less than what you're given a game, so I think it's fine. But anyway, naughty. It's fine. I ordered lunch and I know where it is right now. So
Everything's under control.
He's tied to me. He's the wagon to my engine right now. So do you think it won't be broken? What's the highest it will go to?
No, I think it'll go to 15, 16 with Sam Curran.
Okay, so pick a number. Come on. We're guessing. So 17.5 is yours. What's
I'm
yours?
going 15.
You're going 15.
And I'm going Curran number 1. I think Stokes will be a value plus vanity purchase.
Yeah. Fair.
Cam Green will be a vanity purchase. Sam Curran will be a value purchase.
Okay.
Up to a price. Beyond 10, 12, he becomes a value plus. I just want him.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. I think that it will go today. It will go to 16.5.
लो
16.5?
मुझे लगा इतना सोच रहे हो आप 22 बोल रहे हो
नहीं सर इतना नहीं जाना 16.5 ठीक है मुझे लगता है आपका नंबर आ जाएगा 17.5
क्या पता
देखो हमारे क्या हम तो ऐसे बात जेब में फूटी कौड़ी हो या ना हो करोड़ की बातें तो कर ही सकते हैं फ्री है कौन सा टैक्स लगता है जैसे बच्चन साहब ने कहा था आज मैं आपसे 5 लाख का सौदा करने आया हूँ मेरी जेब में 5 फूटी कौड़ी नहीं राइट
सही जवाब.
है ना? Most expensive Indian or most number of bids? Let's not say most expensive. So most number of bids, because most number of bids goes obviously.
I hope it's Mayank Agarwal, but I won't be surprised if it's Mukesh Kumar.
Okay, Mukesh Kumar is your bet.
I'd like it to be Mayank Agarwal.
I'm going to throw in another player in the mix, Shashank Singh, Mumbai.
You saw a little bit of him, right?
I feel like saying Yash Thakur. I don't know why.
Okay.
Just aa raha hai mere andar se.
No, there are some very good young players. Akash Vashisht is a good young player. Shivam Mavi might get good.
संवीर सिंह का नाम तो मैंने बोल ही दिया. आपने मुकेश कुमार बोला है. मुझे कहीं पे यश ठाकुर या संवीर सिंह के बीच में दिख रहा है.
See, my point is that any of the experienced player like Shivam and all will not go for that much money because
Even Mukesh Kumar, I think, is more sort of line length cropper bowler. May not be, but I still think Indian fast bowler को मिल ही जाते हैं.
Okay.
और young Indian players को मिलते हैं ना, अच्छा लगता है.
बड़ा मजा आता है.
Yeah, बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
सही बात है. हमारे बंदे हैं भाई. After all, हमारे बंदे हैं. चलिए हम भी आपके बंदे हैं और हम अभी जा रहे हैं. पर हम वापस आएंगे. We will be here with you through the day today on Cricbuzz. So do join us whenever something big happens. We'll be here. Whenever something really bizarre happens, we'll be here. And of course, whenever there's a break in the auction, we'll be here as well. Right now, it's the most important part of the day. We have to feed Mr. Harsha Bhogle. We shall do that right now. There's some truffle and things laced with silver foil because that's the only way he eats. So we'll be getting that for him. And
What happened to respect for seniors?
this is respect,
I
sir.
tell
Silver.
you.
Oh, sorry. Should have been gold foil. Fire, you guys. All right. We shall correct that and many other things when we come back on Cricbuzz. A big thank you to Mr. Harsha Bhogle and Mr. Joy Bhattacharya. I'm Gaurav Kapur. Just telling you that you ain't going to get your money back because I told you in the beginning, hum 3 के बराबर हैं. See you later.